Joining me now via Skype to discuss how this money will be utilized is David Ugola, Executive Director, African Network for Environment and Economic Justice, ANEJ. Reverend Ugola, it's good to have you join me right now this morning. Now, Abacha Loot 1, 2, 3, they've been coming in trickles. Nigerians have, based on the work you have been doing, have been getting scoops of how this monies are being utilized. Now, the Minister of Justice has announced to Nigerians that the government has received the alert. Now, talk to us basically, the government is saying that this monies will be used for different construction company. The Niger Bridge is there, the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, the Mambila Plateau project, as well as the Kano-Abuja Expressway, amongst others. Talk to us basically about how this project is going.
Thank you again, my brother. Thanks for the opportunity again. We have to thank TVC for the support and all the public awareness and the whole support on the repatriation of looted assets from overseas. First, the Abacha 1 to Abacha 3 is a huge progress for Nigeria compared to other countries internationally that have not been able to achieve this kind of repatriation, because asset recovery is quite a very big challenge internationally. First, I'd like to correct this information very well. We have actually issued a press statement yesterday. What Garba said, the presidential aid, is not true. It's not true. And the agreement that led to the repatriation of the $311 million to Nigeria, which the Federal Minister of Justice have confirmed that they have acknowledged and they have received, is for only 3 projects. The Mambila project, he mentioned that will impact 10 million people, is not part of the agreement. The 3 projects are Lagos-Ibadan Road, Kano-Abuja Road, and then the second Niger Bridge. The Mambila project is not part of the agreement, and there should be no attempt by any government official, any presidency, anywhere to go against the agreement reached with the US and Jersey government. The agreement is very clear, and the provisions are very clear about what the money will be used for. And the process and the role of civil society are very clear in the whole entire process. So we have issued out a statement to correct that misinformation. It is not true, and we have also encouraged the presidency to always get in touch with the Ministry of Justice whenever they want to issue out a statement. It's good that they are celebrating it, but at the same time, they have responsibility to check with the concerned ministry so that they don't allow this misinformation to send a wrong signal to the international community. And then these 3 projects that is identified in the 3 major regions of the country, we, the civil society, who have been following up the process, we are going to monitor these 3 projects independently.
All right. Now, one is glad you're talking about monitoring, because one major issue Nigerians have concern about is transparency and accountability in the utilization of these funds. Now, talk to us basically, what is the benchmark when it comes to monitoring and making Nigerians know and own what the government is doing? What is the benchmark for transparency, and what would the template look like so that Nigerians can follow?
I think this is the template that was agreed by all the countries that participated in the GFA Forum in Washington in 2017. If you recall, the process of retrieving stolen assets stashed in Western Bank is a very huge challenging process. It's a process that involves 1, 2, or 3 jurisdictions. So what it means is that when your country, you lose money through the politically exposed person, so there is a process you follow. So after the London Anti-Corruption Summit in 2016, hosted by the UK government, UK and US government agreed to host a joint summit, a joint forum to deal with the issues of the challenges that poor countries like Nigeria are facing to retrieve their stolen assets. So that forum was held in Washington in 2017, December. That was Global Forum on Asset Recovery. At that forum, certain principles were agreed on, which now serve as a kind of a benchmark. And this is culminated into a process where the 4 countries that participated, including Nigeria and US and UK government, agreed that these certain benchmark and principles, which include transparency and accountability, open contracting processes when resources are returned back to country, were agreed on. So if you look at the agreement that was signed by these three countries that has led now to the repatriation of the 311 million to Nigeria, these provisions are contained in those agreements. One of those principles of the GIFA is about inclusion of civil society in monitoring. That's one benchmark, and which the Nigerian government has fulfilled. Nigerian government is currently now undergoing a process of making sure that they procure the service of third-party monitoring. Although our organization and our mantra movement have said that we don't want to go through big processes. We want to monitor the process, and we want to open the space so that every Nigerian, religious leaders, media can have access to monitoring the project. It is the fundamental human right of every Nigerian to be aware how this recovered asset is properly utilized. For example, I encourage all the Southwest governors to follow up to ensure that the money allocated for the Lagos-Ibadan road is properly used. I also encourage the northern governors, the religious leaders in the north, to ensure that the Abuja-Kano road, the money allocated for it is properly used. I also encourage the southeast governors and the south-south governors to mobilize themselves to ensure that the money allocated for the second bridge is also utilized properly. So the benchmark is very clear. Nigerian government have agreed to make sure that they bid for a transparent process. They have agreed to make sure that there is inclusion of civil society. They've agreed that there will be transparent disclosure of information. They are going to publish all the details of the contract and all the companies that are involved in the implementation of the project, because the existing project will also be included as well.
All right. Thank you so much, David Ugolo, for your time on the program. We thank you for what you do.